Okay, this is Comic Book Duplicates. Really kind of a challenging problem for some of us, but it's just a different way of thinking. So I hope that you find this helpful. This is one way to do it. Certainly not the exact way that everyone may do it, but I hope that it helps somebody. So here we go. I'll read the main part of the problem. Comic book duplicates, logic grid. Alex purchased a box of large comic books from a garage sale to add to his gigantic collection. As he was going through the box, he found a number of comics he already owned and decided to sell them. Figure out which comic book he found duplicates of, how much he sold each one for, and the year it was printed. Give everyone 2 minutes of private think time to fill out okay, you guys can do the think time on your own if you already haven't. Now, what I've done here is I've gone through and I took a picture. I took a picture of these 4 things that we can kind of refer back to as we're going along. Okay, so when you blow this up on GoFormative, like this is going to take up the whole screen, and then it's really hard to like click back to here. So I would take a picture of this with your phone, maybe. Just so you can look at both kind of at the same time. And as the year goes on, we'll get better at the formatting and things to be able to look at them at the same time like I have them up here now. So when you're doing these logic puzzles, I have found that it's always helpful to look for something that's mentioned that's compared to 2 different things. So we have 4 comic books here. And one of these comic books is mentioned twice. So you might pause the video here and see which comic book is mentioned twice and what you can make of that. So that comic book that is mentioned twice is, maybe I'll use the highlighter, it's Superbird. And it's mentioned 2 times. Okay, what does it tell us? It tells us that Paladin sold for $5 more than Superbird. Okay, so 2 tells us that Superbird was either printed in 2017 or sold for $12.50. Okay, so I'm going to look over here at the grid, and I also want to mark the easy part of the problem, which is 3. They just straight up tell you Go Robots was in comic shops in 2008. So I'm going to take Go Robots 2008. All right, so I'm just going to mark that in there because I know that straight up. Now this next part's a little trickier with Superbird. So Paladin, 5 more than Superbird. Okay, and Superbird is 2017 or sold for $12.50. Let's think about it selling for $12.50. Okay, so look at the prices right now of the different comics. Okay, $12.50 is the most expensive price. So don't write this in, but we're wondering right now, is Superbird $12.50 or is it 2017? Because it told us it was one or the other, okay? But it also told us over here in 4 that Paladin sold for $5 more than Superbird. So if Superbird, this is the tricky part. If Superbird was $12.50, Paladin would have to be $5 more than that. $5 more than $12.50 is $17.50. So we ask ourselves, can Paladin be $17.50? It can't, because $17.50 isn't an option. All right, the most expensive one is $12.50. So we know that Superbird is not $12.50, and the part that was true about it, because remember it said either Superbird is either printed in 17 or is $12.50. We now know this is false, okay, and that Superbird is 2017. So I'm going to go into my chart, and I'm going to mark, I should have had this question mark for 2017 on Superbird. So it should have appeared like, I don't want to redo the video, but we were wondering, is Superbird $12.50 or is Superbird 2017? 1250 didn't make sense, but 2017 is what it must then be. Okay, so we have two things marked now. All right, we know that Go Robots is 2008, and we know that Superbird is 2017. We don't know how much Superbird is quite yet, okay? We do know, and I'm going to write this down, that Superbird plus $5 is Paladine. Okay, we know that. Polandine, what am I doing here? Okay, we know that's true because of the fourth thing that they told us. All right, so the way that I'm thinking about this now is like, all right, well, Superbird can't be here because plus $5 is $17.50. That's too much. Superbird isn't that dollar value because that'd add up to 15, right? So Superbird now, it must be either this one or this one, okay? Because $5 more than that is going to be Paladine. All right, so we've looked at 2, 3, and 4, but we haven't yet looked at number 1. Okay, so this is where it all kind of starts to hopefully come together a little bit. So it tells us in number 1 that the comic from 2014 is $2.50 less than the one published in 2017. Well, what was the one published in 2017? Remember this? It wasn't this, right? Superbird, okay? So this comic from 2014 is $2.50 less than Superbird, okay? So I also know that Superbird, whatever it is, Superbird minus $2.50 has to be whatever this thing is from 2014, okay? So remember how the price for Superbird was one of these two question marks here? And we said that it had to be there because when you add $5 to it, it can't go over $12.50. So this time we're taking $2.50 away, and that's the price of the comic book from 2014. Some of you might be able to see the answer here. So if I take $2.50 away from $5, that would mean that this comic book from 2014 is $2.50. If I take $2.50 away from $7.50, I get $5. So what would make sense? Well, I can't have a comic book that's $2.50. So if Superbird was $5, this other comic book from 2014, again, would be $2.50, which is not an option. So Superbird cannot be $5. So Superbird has to be $7.50. Okay. Now, just with those X's there, we can go through and solve everything else. Okay. Superbird being $7.50 solves it all. So, what comic book then is $5? Well, we know that Superbird minus $2.50 is the one from 2014. So, what's $7.50 minus $2.50? That's $5. So the question now is, which one is it? Which one of these is it then going to be? Because we already know Paladine. We already know Paladine's $5 more, so I could X that one too. So I'm kind of wondering now, which one is it? Is it like Go Robots or is it Alakazam? And remember, this one is 2014. Well, this one's already 2008. So 2014 must be right there. So that's how I know it's Alakazam. Okay. All right. Very good. So now I'm going to look over here at my years column. And I know that there is an X in each one. So I must have 2019 here. Now I'm going to go over and I'm going to look at Go Robots, because I have an X, I need an X right there. And now I have the whole thing filled in. So this top one here tells me that Alakazam sold for $5 in 2014. That Go Robot sold for $10 in 2008. That Paladin sold for $12.50 in 2019. And that Superbird sold for $7.50 in 2017. Now these were duplicates, okay? So this is like one thing that he found, and then the other thing he found is the other table. So I'd count it right if you stopped here because you understood the logic of it. But basically the one for $5 was 2014. The one for $7.50 was what, 2017? 2017. The one for $10 was 2008, and then we got the one for $12.50, which is 2019. Okay, so there is a little explanation on how to do kind of a tough logic problem. Hopefully that made some sense.